Welcome back to Pit Perspective. I'm your host, Roger Sherman, pitmaster and owner of the District Pit Barbecue Catering Company in Washington, D.C., coming to you from the museum in the mansion on O Street. Today, I've got a terrific guest for you. My guest today is a fitness instructor, a fitness trainer, a fitness model, the author of The Conversations in My Head, and the owner of 4SMFIT Fitness, Washington, D.C.'s very own Stephanie Brodie. Stephanie, thank you for coming on. Welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me. It's a pleasure.
So this is going to be really interesting because I like to fancy myself a fitness enthusiast. I work out kind of regularly. I eat a pretty decent meal. But right now I'm feeling really small, really weak, and really insignificant. So I was hoping maybe you could tell me something to make me feel good about myself real quick, since I'm sitting here next to you.
You look great. You're doing great.
Let's stop right there. That's enough for me. That's good enough for me. So, Stephanie, this is nominally a food show. We get on here, we talk about food, and we kind of get into other things sometimes. So since you're big in the fitness industry, I've asked you to come on to talk specifically about meal preparation.
Okay. So
let's get into that.
let's talk food. I brought some.
Great.
Okay, because I like to show you better than I can tell you. So nutrition is literally 80% of one's journey in fitness. Okay, and I mean, people hear that number and they think, whatever, if I work out a lot, then I'm good. No, if you eat good, then you don't have to work out as much.
Right.
It's actually the opposite, right? So here's a day in my life. I'm on an 8 to 8 schedule, meaning I eat at 8 a.m.
Okay.
I don't eat before. I eat at 8 a.m., 11 a.m., 2 p.m., 5 p.m., and 8 p.m. again.
Wow.
So I'm eating on a 12-hour window.
So that was, how many meals was that? You said was that 5?
Yeah,
five,
so 8, 11, 2, 5, 8,
Okay.
5 meals. And they typically look like this, minus my rice portion. So here we are. We have 4 ounces. Yep, we have 4 ounces of chicken. We have a cup of broccoli, and underneath we have a cup of cilantro rice. Okay, so I would have 4 of these meals with the rice cut in half.
So it would be the same exact meal?
Same exact meals. Okay, so what happens is I do my meals and I incorporate some protein shakes. I either get some that I buy from the store, or I make them myself.
Okay.
All right, so that's typically a day in my life. Right now I'm doing show prep, bodybuilding. So your meals are the same. And right now I'm on my second cut. So he's going to be cutting calories more and more and more. So it's really about eating the same foods for me, and letting the food really work in my favor to cut the body fat down, because that's really all bodybuilding is about, getting your body fat very low and using the same food to help you like get that goal.
So I kind of do something a little bit similar. I typically eat the same meals over and over and over again, and it's not because I'm cutting for bodybuilding, it's because when I barbecue, that's what's there and what I keep eating. Mm-hmm. So what I end up typically eating for the entire course of a week is whatever I've prepared for my customers over the course of the weekend. I find that to be very substantial and very sustaining to me. I know my wife and my children are like, nah, bro, we ain't trying to eat the exact same thing every day. So is there a way for you to keep that really fresh, or is that just something that you have the mindset to be like, this is what I'm going to do to get to my goal, and there's nothing else that I'm thinking about?
Okay, it's both.
Okay.
It's a pro and a con. Okay, so the pro is very simple. I know what I gotta eat. I know how to cook it very well, and I'm hungry enough, I'm gonna eat it, right? That's the pros. The cons is I get extremely tired of eating the same thing, especially when it gets to my prep where he's keeping me on the same thing. Like, I don't have really many options right now. It's chicken, it's rice, and it's a vegetable. So at first it was sweet potatoes and rice cakes and this and that. But now we're getting cut down because now we need the body to change and go to the next level. So at this stage of it, it's like, oh my goodness, I'm a chicken. Just don't call me Stephanie, call me Steph Chicken, period.
So I made the huge mistake. So Stephanie had pinged me on Instagram, and just kind of jokingly asked me to bring her a sample plate of the barbecue, which I was happy to do. But I didn't know she was in the chicken phase right now, so guess what? I smoked her. Of course, I smoked her chicken. So I don't know if that really is of benefit to her, because it kind of falls into what she was doing anyway. But at the same time, I feel like I did her a disservice. But that's That's the best I could do for you.
If it's chicken, I'm eating it. Okay. Bottom line.
What is your go-to cheat food?
Anything that's not what I'm having.
Okay.
Anything that's right there. It could be something that I don't even eat. If it's right there and it's a piece of sugar, it could be a lollipop, it could be a popsicle, it could be anything that's outside of what I've been eating. That's exciting to me. You know. But if I have to pick, I'm gonna go for what? Hot fries or pizza.
So where do you get hot fries from around here?
7-Eleven, everywhere.
Okay.
Yeah, the hot fries by the Cheeto guy, not the other ones, not Andy Caps. It has to be the Chester fries in the yellow and orange bag, people. Cheat meal, that's what I'm gonna have, okay? And then pizza. I think pizza is just hands down my go-to cheat.
It's peanut butter for me.
Peanut butter.
I'll take a jar of peanut butter. I'll open it up and I'll just eat it with a spoon.
I could do that with apple butter. You remember one time? She could tell you one time. I got so desperate for sugar. I was mixing the apple butter and I was mixing the peanut butter and I was literally just like eating it out.
No, I get to the spoon and I just go crazy to the point where, like, I like peanut butter enough that my wife will keep it in the trunk of her car because she knows if she brings it in the house, I'll eat the whole thing and she won't get any. So she thinks that I don't know that she does this. I know it's back there. Sometimes when she be sleeping, I go and pop the trunk to the back of her car and I'll eat the peanut butter. It's all right. It's fine. It's just a cheat meal every once in a while.
I don't think peanut butter is gonna do you any harm.
No, but but I'm not eating like good organic peanut butter.
You're eating the sugar.
I'm eating some Jif.
I got you.
You know what I'm talking about?
I got you.
So let me ask you this question. So there was a phase, and I always like to ask this question to people who are really into fitness. What do you think about juicing?
I love juicing because you can get all the vitamins. You can get the minerals, you get to get all the antioxidants, so you get all of those great benefits out of juicing. But honestly, like a person that's lifting weights 6 days a week, it's not enough.
Okay.
It's not enough. It's a great addition. You know, it's a great addition, especially the fresh celery, especially like the carrots, especially when you're juicing food. It's a great an addition. But let me tell you, I cannot just juice only.
I'm gonna go in a slightly opposite direction here, and I am completely and totally adverse to juicing. I watched my wife do this, and she really liked it. Like I said, a couple of friends of mine did it, and I'm sure it's delicious. But watching her put these things together, it's like she's blending up the lawn. Like she's got like there's too much. I mean, it's all green and it's funny looking to me. But here's the reason why I'm adverse to juicing. I know for a fact the day is coming when I am going to be forced to drink all of my meals. I am not getting to jump on that. There's going to be a one day where I'm going to have to do that. I watched this happen to my father where he just was all he could do was drink stuff, and I'm like, I'm not getting to jump on that. So I'm eating all of the red meat and all of the pulled pork and all of the chicken that I can eat until the time comes where I'm forced to drink the lawn. Until then, I'll leave that for my wife to do the juice. How did you get into fitness, and then how did you turn it into your career?
Okay, great question. I was running restaurants. I worked for Chipotle and Sweet Green.
Wow, okay.
As a manager there.
Oh, wow.
So, and then I was an artist. And before, about 16, 17, 18, I was an artist, and I released like 3 albums, right? And I was like, I got to keep up my look, because at this point, hip hop was changing, and your look was everything.
Yep.
Like during the time where I was an artist, your look was everything. And I was starting to feel like I was like, I had to keep this up. I got to tone up and get myself together. So when I first started fitness, I started doing it just to like keep myself together as an artist, right? And then as I started doing it every day, I started kind of like really looking forward to it. And I didn't have anybody to do it. I didn't have any workout friends to pull me in. I didn't have anybody. I wasn't watching any fitness people. I didn't look up to like anybody. I just knew that I had to, do something. And I had always been in shape all my life. I mean, I did some track in school, but I wasn't heavy into fitness like that. I just always had a shapy body, right? So as I started doing it, I just started changing. Like I started feeling different. I started feeling better. And then it got to the point where I would go out to the track at Suitland Track, and I would just make stuff up and do stuff that I seen and just functional things, right? And I could do it all by myself. And it was actually the first time that I was introduced to independent I call it independency
Okay.
because I'm so used to saying codependency, right? Codependency, I always needed somebody to do something. Oh, come with me here, come with me here, come with me here. Want you to do this with me, want you to do this. But when I started doing fitness, I didn't need anybody, you know? And it started changing me, you know? I was just carrying a lot on my shoulders coming up, and it really started taking it off me, and I started feeling really, really good. So at this point, I was just doing it for myself, and as I was doing it for myself, it started attracting, you know, different people to me. Hey, train me, train me, train me. I really wasn't certified or anything, so I did get certified. I did like some P90X workouts, and I did some programs like that to try to like get through it. And eventually I did become certified, and I started getting people here and there because they were just attracted to what was happening. Now, the thing that I wasn't doing when I got into fitness was I did not know about nutrition. So I was still going out there to the track, working out there in that heat for hours. But then after that, I'm like, I'm hungry, and I just go eat my regular old stuff.
Whatever you wanted,
Yeah. And I did that for about 5 years until I was like, I need to go and get in a nutrition class. And that's when it really started changing for me. And I became a nutritionist years ago. Now I'm a sports nutritionist. And I became a trainer. I did a bunch of online stuff, but then I actually went to become a master trainer, you know? So now I'm way deep in, and I still was working at Chipotle, you know, I still traveled around, I still was doing stuff. And then it wasn't until years later I was working at Sweet Green. Then fitness just started picking up. I started picking up massage therapy. All this stuff started happening on the sidelines. And eventually I made the decision. I said, you know, when I turn 30 years old, I'm going to work for myself. Now you add that element in with helping people. Then you get them to get then you get to see them go through that. And that's even more overpowering, you know. You get to help people, and you really get to help people in need, like people with diabetes. You get to help people with high cholesterol. You get to help people the elderly. I mean, I've gotten to help so many people just by teaching them what I know and just being by their side as they go through it and helping them understand that it's not overnight, it's over time.
That's the most important thing. So I'm sitting here listening to you be more passionate about what you're doing than most of the people I have a conversation with on a daily basis. You're super passionate about this. I feel the same way about barbecue. When I'm doing my catering, I get that same type of feeling. So and I think that the one difference between what I do and what you do is I get instant gratification from customers. Somebody takes a bite and they really like it, and that is my instant gratification. You might have to go on a longer journey with somebody. You might have somebody who doesn't see the type of gains they want to see in the first 90 days or the first 180 days or even the first year. Like I said, I put barbecue in front of people, they taste it and they're happy immediately. How do you keep somebody engaged who 6 months in isn't seeing the results they want to see?
Well, you hit it right on the nail. How do I keep them engaged? I wish they were here to tell these stories.
That's the critical part.
Like I tell everybody that first meet me, first of all, I have to teach you what you really want, because a lot of people don't know what they want. So when they come to me, they want all of these things. I want to lose weight. I want to get muscle. I want my butt to be bigger. I want my thighs to be smaller. I want my neck to be littler. All of that in one meeting. You get what I'm saying? Right. So first I have to say, what is it that you really want? Are you happy with the weight? They tell me no. Okay, how much weight do you want to lose? Exactly. I make them be very specific, right? When they give me that number, I tell them how long it's going to take us to do that by the formula that I use, right? Depending on what their weight goal is, it's the amount that I expect them to lose every month. And then I break that month down to how much I expect them to lose every week, right? So every week we have Zooms. Did you lose that weight? Well, we figure out what you did that week. I don't go 6 months without you getting results. I don't even go a week without them getting results, let alone a month without them getting results. They're getting results every week. And if they're not, we're having a conversation. And that conversation is accountability. And I'm taking them back to the 3 steps. It's either what you did or did not do, what you ate or did not eat, right? Did you sleep, and did you get any rest or recovery, right? Because that's all it goes down to when you're doing weight loss. It's your diet, your exercise, and your rest and recovery. Your nutrition goals have to meet your exercise goals. They have to go hand in hand. So for me, 6 months 6 months in, if I got a girl coming in and she's hitting her mark every 30 days, 6 months in, she's good.
So I want to switch topics for a second here. We've gone into nutrition, and thank you for sharing your meal prep. We've talked about you as a trainer. But the one thing we haven't really gone into is your book. Stephanie wrote a book called The Conversations Inside of My Head. Now, I tried to put together a cookbook one time, and that's probably a whole lot simpler than putting this together. I found out that as a barbecue chef, I don't measure anything. I don't even know if I actually own a measuring cup. They were just kind of sprinkling on something like that. But I wanted to talk to you about the book real quick. So it's called The Conversations in My Head. I have not read it, and I appreciate you bringing me a copy. And I'm going to assume that it's just about that, the conversations that are going on in your head. So give me a little quick description of the book and help me understand your motivations for it.
I went on a 90-day cleanse. I was at a very happy place in my life, and I wanted to know what was next. It was a spiritual path. It was deep, it was real, and it was conversations I was having inside my head, just being passionate and wanting to go further and wanting to know what was next in my life, as well as just the day-to-day conversations during that 90-day cleanse that I was having with people that I actually saw. You know what I mean? So it's it really hits your heartstrings, because I get on the topics and just the desperation of being better. At the end of the day, that book is really motivation. It's motivation just written down. During that 90 days, I was motivated. I wanted to know what was next. I wanted to be better. Until we isolate ourselves and confront our issues, it's a lot of things that we don't even know that we're facing, right? So that book just touches on the real things that we're thinking about, feelings we're thinking about, memories and moments that we're going to in our minds that are holding us hostage because we haven't set it free.
One thing I like to understand when I'm talking to people is their motivation. And for people who have followed on this show a little bit, everybody knows for the most part, I basically have one motivation. My motivation is get my daughter through college.
Right.
She's there right now. She's about halfway through. I'm trying to do everything I can to make that experience simple and easy for her. And when I'm through with that, I'll come up with some new motivation. If you had to pinpoint one motivation, Stephanie Brodie's one motivation for the things that she does and what drives her, what is that thing?
Breaking the generational curse.
Okay.
Yeah, breaking the family curse, breaking the cycle, getting out, coming from nothing, being something, and creating a path for those behind me. Being that doorknob, because I believe everybody needs help. And sometimes people don't know what that looks like. They don't know how to ask. They don't know what they really need. And I think that just everything that I know, everything that I've learned, I want to pay it back tenfold, because I know how it feels to not feel like you have enough.
I couldn't have said it any better. It's a great way to close off. Stephanie, tell everybody where they can find you.
You can find me at the number 4 Self-Motivation Fitness everywhere.com, Instagram, Facebook. Go follow me and go and support my book, The Conversations in My Head, available on Amazon, Kindle, and Audible.
I'd like to thank Stephanie for joining us on the show today. Once again, I'd like to thank the O Street Mansion for hosting us today. We happen to be in the Amnesia Room today. So check us out at Pit Perspective on YouTube. Check me out at thedistrictpit.com for your barbecue catering needs. And again, thanks for Stephanie and Motivation Fitness. And you guys have a great week. We'll talk to you next time.